much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine on that and make it brilliant.
Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. So I'm working with some intros, playing around, doing my thug dizzle, and uh, yeah, man. Let's jump into this, man. I actually forgot about this for some time. Willingly forgot about it. I really didn't forget about it, but I I wasn't in the mood to talk about it, but I saw Teofimo Lopez and Teofimo Lopez dad, excuse me, senior, doing interviews last night, and an uncomfortable feeling overcame me, and I was like, I can't root for these guys, man. And let's be clear, if you follow or fuck with my channel, I was team Teofimo Lopez. I actually protected him when he fought Magdaleno, and not wouldn't say protected him, but didn't have an issue with his celebration. Thank God that Magdaleno is okay. Um, what else? Um, I was the president of the Teofimo Lopez fan club. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you that, and this video will let you know that how consistent I am, because people were saying, "Oh, you're just protecting Neural Spence." No, I'm really not. If I know you and I have your phone number and I disagree with you, I will contact you. Period. Point blank. It's just I don't believe in being in an uncomfortable space and like, well, I'm not gonna talk to him because he's mad at me. Nah, I don't deal with that shit, nigga. I just, I'm pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? And for those of you, and for the people I've had the pleasure to meet and be a part of their lives, they actually know that I'm pretty straightforward. But I found a text that I first also I want to say, it seemed like I'm always the cleanup man. Andre Ward should be talking about this shit. You know what I mean? About his mug shot. He didn't speak of Carissa Shields. That's his little brother, little sister. Their teams. I'm always back going and then don't get the respect, but it's okay. I'm gonna keep on fighting. I'm gonna keep on being Malcolm X, or what they call me, Farrakhan, Farrakhan of the media thing. But anyways, man, I want to jump into this, man. Um, and the reason why I reached out to him, because I had his phone number. You understand what I'm saying? Not out of malice or disrespect. Go watch my old videos. Google Teofimo Lopez on my search engine, and you'll see that I was a huge advocate of Teofimo Lopez moving forward. But before I jump into what happened and why I can't root for them, I'm gonna tell you what I sent them. So I sent Teofimo Lopez a text, his dad, by the way, and I says, and this is my quote: "Your comments comparing Ali to Fury was hurtful. Be careful with how you word things. I'm genuinely rooting for y'all's success, but it can't come at the cost of the great people in my culture," end quote. And I sent him the video of me. I sent him the video of where I'm speaking positive about Teofimo Lopez, his son. And he says, this is his quote: "Someone's butthurt. Fuck off then." And I just sent, okay. And this was a while ago. This was June 17th. I sent the text. So I've been holding on to this for some time. And 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 you guys know the story about him using the N-word on camera on ESPN, and you also know of him, and you guys don't know, but he was sparring. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Davis kid or somebody in there. And at the end of sparring, because they disagreed about the rounds, they disagreed about how long they wanted to spar. And Teofimo Lopez's dad stepped in the ring and told his son, "That's why we don't spar niggas." And legend has it that the coach jumped in and basically squared up with Teofimo Lopez's dad, Teofimo Lopez Sr., excuse me. And they said, one of the coaches, I know the coach's name, but we'll just leave it at that. And and I need to give my background first before I give my dissertation on this. I grew up on the East Coast, Harlem, Bronx, New York, five boroughs. some of y'all may not like this, but I grew up around Dominicans and Puerto Ricans using the N word. You know, I mean, Fat Joe still uses it. Big Pun used it. You know, like I went to school with him, and that was common law. I mean, like it, love it, or hate it, that's the culture in New York. And in the rough parts in urban New York, that's the culture, you know? And it's just the reality of it. You grow up with an understanding that they're gonna use the word. You understand now? When they use it as a derogatory term towards you, that's when the issue is. But when they having conversation like that nigga did this, that nigga did that, they use it, you know, and it's just the reality of the culture in New York. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I can be tolerant of the N word as it relates to Dominicans and Puerto Ricans or whatever, or people who look like that. I'm not sure what ethnicity Teofimo Lopez is. So, um, but when you use it in a derogatory term, inflammatory term, a directional, when it's directed at a certain person, I can't tolerate the shit. You know what I mean? And it's bad for Teofimo Lopez Jr., the son, because I like him. I genuinely like him. You know, I like his flashes. You guys know I love being around confident people. I admire confident people. I don't mind. I'm not insulted by another man's confidence. I embrace it. But what I cannot embrace is another man disrespecting the culture, disrespecting the culture that I believe that I'm a part of, that I believe that I'm an asset to. You understand what I'm saying? And nothing is above that. You know, the same way I will call myself out on it, the same way I can be wrong, the same way I disagree with Floyd Mayweather as it relates to the culture. I'm not perfect either, so don't get here and say Fred is the culture guardian. No, that's not what I'm saying. I've made plenty of mistakes as it relates to things that go on in the culture. But what I do want to make about is I try not to do it purposely. You understand what I'm saying? I do my best to be respectful of it and be a member of it, be a productive member of the culture. You know, um, and it just hurt me when I heard that he said that because I was a big fan of Teofimo Lopez. And when you lose a person like me, I represent a demographic in boxing, and I didn't want to put that jacket on him. But when I saw him yesterday, when I saw the dad do an interview, it brought this energy about him in me. You know what I mean? And I want to do this video. I was gonna do a video and not show my face like sometimes I do, not intentionally, not for hiding, but I want to do this video and I want him to see my black skin because what he did was wrong, and he doesn't care. He's running around like boxing is the wild wild west. You know, he think that he can do and say what he want without repercussions. You know, and I think it's very disrespectful and very um non-caring for him to respond to me in that manner when I was an ally. I said was, quote, was an ally of his. You understand? Even when I interviewed him, I interviewed him one time at the Robert Easter fight, you know, and I was a protector and and I would have been a huge asset to him in terms of him building his fan base, but I can't do that no longer because um there was no recourse. There was no apology. There was no like empathy. There was no sympathy. You know what I mean? Like I know what goes on in circles. Like I know what goes on in a black barbershop, and they may say some things about other cultures, whether it can be Mexican, Jews, whites, Indians, whatever the case may be. Just like if you go to a barbershop in East LA, which is a predominantly Mexican neighborhood, if you don't live and don't understand it. And you got to respect what they say. That's their comfort level. That's their zone, you know. But when we're upon mixed company, it has to be respectful and copacetic. You understand what I'm saying? And I can't support it. I mean, you can do what you want, but I'm telling you, from my perspective, Teofimo Lopez's dad will hinder his growth. Will hinder the perception of him as it relates to him publicly, you know. And I have yet to hear a comment from. I've searched high and low for a comment from him. Even Bob Arum. If you listen to my interview I did with Bob Arum in Texas, he was grossly disappointed in Teofimo Lopez comments. Uh, he stood by what he said was wrong. Um, and Teofimo Lopez, I'm talking about senior now. Um, he don't care. You know, he has this tough bravado, like he's big, bad, and he's buff. And if that's the edge you need, I'm not gonna take it away from you. But don't disrespect 400 years of us here in America. You know what I mean? And don't take us back to a place that's a hurtful place. You know, I don't think that's your job and or responsibility because whether you ran across the border, swam across the border, or we came here in a ship, we still here. You know what I'm trying to say? So we're all immigrants. We're all descendants of immigrants. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that um, we need to be tolerant and understanding, and especially that we're quote unquote minorities in America. We should have There should be a level of empathy that we have for one another. You know what I mean? You know, I you guys know I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and um I'm very responsive and will respond, whether it's a black or a Latino that's going through tough times or whatever the case may be. And y'all can 100% guarantee that I will respond in the appropriate manner. You know what I mean? And I've held on to this since June 17th, and because I didn't want to put this jacket on them, but I got there was this crawly like type of emotion that overcame me when I saw him speaking, and I heard that raspiness in his voice, and I didn't like it. And he's gonna have to respond now. He's gonna have to respond to this claim now, and he should, and um, and that's the reality of it. I tried to reach out to him as it relates to the Muhammad Ali. I thought that was disrespect, but it was kind of it wasn't disrespectful in the sense of culture, but it was disrespectful in the sense of like, how dare you? You know what I mean? It's like comparing Julio Cesar Chavez to um you know, George Cooney. You know what I mean? Whatever his name. What the hell is that fighter name? Cooney. What you know what I'm talking about? Jerry Cooney. You know what I mean? Um, there's no parallel. There's no parallel to Tyson Fury and Muhammad Ali. There's no parallel. You know what I mean? And we have to be protectors of the culture. I'm not saying some people are willing to die for it. Some people are willing to fight for it. You know, find your median. I'm not saying that. But and fighting don't mean with your fists all the time. Like I don't want to fight Teofimo Lopez's dad. That's the last thing I want to do. But what I do want to do is create a stance. And immature people is going to respond to this, say, "Oh, Fred wants to fight him, or he wants to fight him." That's the immature way. Be a man about it. Apologize. I'm talking to you, Teofimo Lopez Sr. Be a man about it and apologize. Andre Ward alluded to this on ESPN, but was afraid to say it uh, when he heard he gave like a 30-second monologue about him using those words on national TV, and then he alluded to what happened in the gym and the sparring, but he wouldn't speak on it. You need to speak on this, Andre Ward. How are we going to eradicate this in boxing? How are we? Why should we have to go through another 2 fights, 9 months of Kovalev, Andre Ward, if people like Andre Ward aren't speaking up about this? That's all I'm saying. I'm probably the only media member that covers fights that stands on his square as it relates to, you know, what's right and what's wrong. You know, Shakur Stevenson's mugshot. Carissa Shields being disrespected by Steve Kim. You know, the list goes on and on. So and I will continue to do so. You know what I mean? I never got a thank you from Shakur Stevenson. I never got a thank you from Carissa Shields, but I will keep on moving. I will keep on moving forward. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, but anyways, at the end of the day, I just want to make this very, very clear. I'm not I can't be tolerant of that and look at that man in the eye and see him as my equal. You know, obviously there's no such thing as a man being your equal. You are a one of one experience, but at the end of the day, this is the truth. So, anyways, man, that's my truth, man. As I said before, you guys see how balanced I am now. Um, I had Teofimo Lopez dad's number, so I reached out to him. And after that comment, I knew I couldn't reach out to him about the nigger comments because he would respond probably in the worst way. You understand what I'm saying? So I responded to him about the Muhammad Ali comments when they were comparing him to Tyson Fury about I thought that was I thought that was slightly disrespectful because it creates this undercurrent and undertone as it relates to the novice or the casual boxing fans, and I don't ever want Tyson Fury and Muhammad Ali to be mentioned in the same breath with anything besides the fact that they put on 10-ounce gloves at the heavyweight division. That's it, and so I gave him a chance. I gave him 6 months: June, July, August, September, October. 4 months. 4 months and 3 days. It's the 20th now. You know, so I gave him 4 months and 3 days, and I didn't respond. So for those of you who say I'm not going to, I'm inconsistent. I'm pretty consistent as it relates to if I know you and there's a level of a relationship there, I will reach out to you. But you know, I have no desire to call him. Uh, it's his turn. It's his turn to do some damage control, some PR control, because this this video is gonna go. This video is gonna get a few thousand views, and it's gonna reach the people that it should. Um, so I can't support Teofimo Lopez. I cannot, because until he stands up as a man and say what his dad said was wrong, then I can't say anything about it. Then I'm gonna think of them as the same person. You know what I mean? And the same temperament. And rightfully so. His dad fed him and raised him. He should stand by his dad. But but Teofimo Lopez Jr. got to understand that his dad is an employee of him at this stage. Now, anything you say and do damages the brand. And that's a fact. So, anyways, man, Comey, Teofimo Lopez, December 14th in New York. Um, we'll see what happens, but moving forward, I can't support Teofimo Lopez because of he said that's why we don't spar niggas, and he also used the N word on national TV and um, in a distasteful manner. You know what I mean? Even black trainers, when they have black fighters, don't talk like that. So because they know there's a camera there and there's a microphone there, and you're not just speaking to your fighter when you're in the corner on national TV, you're speaking to a broader audience and you're building your brand simultaneously. So barbershop conversations, man, feel free, hit the subscribe button, and let's get some motivation music, man, on the way out.
Much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with
your persistence.
You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine up, let us see your brilliance.
The good things in life is never instant. All right, don't ever forget that, man. Plug away. Don't mind. Don't worry about taking the stairs, man. Just worry about putting that right foot in front of the left. That's why God made them that way. All right. Barbershop conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. And I officially jumped off the Teofimo Lopez train. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.